In December 1968, the Apollo 8 spacecraft traveled around the moon, the first time in history that humans had achieved such a feat. A picture of the entire Earth, seen from the vicinity of the moon, was sent back to the Earth to be broadcast on TV sets around the world. The broadcast of this picture was part of a series of steps by means of which we humans have learned to see life on Earth as one interconnected whole. Learning to see life on Earth as one interconnected and interdependent whole, and to see that life clearly in the universe as it really is, as a place coldly indifferent to the life that exists within it, is a journey upon which we are all still embarked. At a convention in the city of Philadelphia beginning in May of 1787, the Constitution of the United States was drafted and later sent to the states for ratification. The country that originated with this Constitution and with the American Revolution was a country whose founders had a strong interest in and concern for two key phenomena: individual political freedom and the political power exercised by governments. Hello, my name is Richard Garner. I'm a former environmental and political activist. In this video, I'm going to talk about the special place of the United States in history and in relationship to the world environmental crisis, which confronts the American people and all of humanity. In the relatively brief time which has elapsed since the founding of the United States, millions of ordinary people have been able to shape their own lives to a degree unprecedented in history. However, despite the great wonders of our history, not only technological wonders, but wonders in the degree of equality which we have achieved among people of different races, ethnicities, identities, religions, socioeconomic classes, and beliefs, the story of the United States has been one of great good and great evil. We can hope that in the long sweep of history, especially the parts still to come, the good that we're still capable of doing will more than overbalance the evil. The interconnected, interdependent life on Earth, the picture of which I described at the beginning of this video, still prevails over everything we Americans have done and are now doing, and over everything which the United States may yet become. This interconnected, interdependent life on Earth, shown in the picture broadcast by NASA from the Apollo 8 spacecraft, is a finite thing. It does not extend endlessly in any direction. As I described in my first video on this channel, it is like a thin film about 6 miles thick that extends around the surface of our planet. This thin film of interconnected, interdependent life on Earth, the Biosphere, is a fragile thing of great complexity and beauty. It is the product of billions of years of evolution. It is believed that life on Earth is about 3.7 billion years old. It is made up of what are called ecosystems, local and regional areas of interdependent populations of different species of life. Different chemical elements, like carbon and nitrogen, are recycled among ecosystems by biogeochemical cycles. This fragile biosphere of life has been severely damaged by one species, our species, since before the dawn of recorded history. Even before the rise of agriculture, human beings were extremely efficient hunters and gatherers of edible plants and other materials which they took from nature and used. There is evidence that early humans had a major impact on the survival and distribution of megafauna and other species of life, even before the rise of agriculture and cities. With the rise of agriculture and cities, the damage done by human beings to the biosphere has steadily increased. With the discovery of this so-called New World about 500 years ago by European explorers, the rate of damage has increased further. The way of life that originated in two countries, the United Kingdom and the United States, and spread across Europe and around the world over the course of the last several centuries, has meant an increase in the speed and the absolute magnitude of the damage. Over the past 50 years, with the tremendous growth and increase in the size of our human population and the increase in the size of the U.S. and world economy, the damage done by there has been a tremendous increase in the damage done by human beings to the biosphere. The World Wildlife Fund, in their most recent Living Planet report of 2024, estimate that from about 1970 to about 2020, about 73% of populations of other species of life were lost. Although it is not possible to prove definitively that any one particular species was driven to extinction by human population growth, in this same time period, global human population size went from about 3.5 billion in 1970 to over 8 billion now in 2024. In addition, many scientists have been warning that mass extinction of other species of life, a huge increase above the background rate of extinction that would otherwise occur in the normal course of evolution, is happening now on our planet. The United States, the country that sent the Apollo spacecraft to the moon, began as a frontier society. Our leaders and most Americans thought of the North American continent as a vast region to be explored and conquered. In the different ways that we think about our country now, in the present, and what our country can be and should be in the future, we still think of it as a frontier society. We began as 13 states, originally colonies of the British Empire, stretched along the Atlantic coast on the eastern edge of the North American continent. We had about 3.5 million people. Today, in 2024, we have more than 336 million Americans. Approximately in the year 1810, when James Madison was president, the global human population size had reached about 1 billion. In the late 19th century, we were seen as having conquered the physical frontier of the North American continent. However, we continue to see our society as a place of great abundance, abundance taken from nature and the result of our own cleverness in industry and hard work. We have failed to see that this way of life of abundance involves a form of borrowing from a future that almost all of us have failed to see coming. We have failed to realize that continuing population growth and economic growth would inevitably steadily degrade and diminish more and more of the finite biosphere of life on Earth. In our country, we have a history of racism and the reality of racism that pervades our society. In addition, we have some people inflating the concept of racism in relation to some issues, such as immigration into the United States, in a way that is inappropriate and not based on the facts. Some people have expressed racist opinions about immigrants, and some people have taken this fact as the basis for concluding that anyone who expresses concern about the large volume of immigration into the United States, that they do so from racist motivations. In my earlier video, I described how this is a mistake. I described the importance of being dispassionate in thinking about how population growth, including population growth that includes immigration and the effects of that population growth on the biosphere and on the economy in the United States and in the world as a whole. Everything that we humans do, affects the biosphere, and affects everything and everybody else on the planet, regardless of whatever energy source we use to power it, whether it comes from fossil fuels or any other kind of energy. And we fail to think about how this inevitable connection with everything that we do, regardless of whatever category we humans might fall into, we fail to think about how this affects everybody else. This applies to everyone, whether they are immigrants or citizens, or people of every race, ethnicity, identity, religion, or belief. In the coming elections for the United States, including the election for President of the United States, these elections will be of enormous consequence for the future of the United States, the American people, all of humanity, and much of the rest of life on Earth. One candidate for president, Donald Trump, has expressed his belief that climate change caused by the widespread pervasive use of fossil fuels by human beings is a hoax. He believes that environmental problems in general are not real. He must be defeated for the sake of all of humanity and life on Earth. However, both major parties in the United States, both major political parties, and all of the minor parties as well, have serious deficiencies in how they approach reality as a whole. They all believe in the growth civilization. They all ignore the seriousness of the problems caused by continuing human population growth. And they all believe in that economic growth is a worthy goal to be continued to pursued into the indefinite future. We need a major new political party here in the United States that will make the survival and well-being of the entire biosphere of life on Earth its main top priority. On my blog at https://www.arepublicfortheearth.org, I describe in much more detail the human population growth and economic growth and their effects on the biosphere. And I describe why we need such a new political party as an essential part of addressing these problems of population growth and economic growth, and what this new political party should be like. Please visit my blog and check it out, and help me continue to explore and develop this critically important idea of a new political party to address these problems. Here, I will hold up a piece of paper so that you can, with this blog, with my blog URL on it, so you can see it and possibly write it down. The material on this in this video is copyrighted in 2024 by Richard E. Garner Jr. In addition, the original material on my blog website is also copyrighted by me. I hereby give myself permission to use some of the same language in describing key concepts in this video. If you like this video, and if you visit my blog and check it out, and if you agree with me that these are critically important problems that cry out for more attention and consideration, please tell your friends. Thank you very much for your time and attention to this video. And please look for further videos on this channel, and please check out my blog.